The aftermath of this weekend's tragic incident.
And then you got anger afterwards because now you're just mad.
As our team brings you both national and local reactions to President Trump's rally shooting. What this means for the Republican National Convention.
National unity, and he is absolutely right.
Which is set to start today. Up in flames. A flight to Miami evacuated due to the plane catching fire. And a historic night despite the delay.
The truth is I'm very confident our team winning this game.
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Kenneth Bueno.
I'm Paris Bender. Today is Monday, July 15th, 2024.
Live from the Lee Kaplan School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
All eyes on former President Donald Trump after an assassination attempt at his rally in Pennsylvania. This morning, we bring you all the angles in the shooting's aftermath, starting in the nation's capital, where D.C. Bureau reporter Cassandra Alonso joins us live now from the White House.
Donald Trump's rallies are known for their big and rowdy audiences, but no one could have possibly predicted that a bullet would have grazed his right ear at a campaign rally held on Saturday afternoon. Let's take an inside look on what we know so far. This past Saturday afternoon, Trump held one of his rallies in Butler, Pennsylvania. While Trump spoke, he was abruptly stopped when a gunman started shooting at him. While the bullet was intended for much more damage, the bullet only grazed the side of Trump's face.
It's a miracle he's still with us.
While Trump got lucky, a firefighter, Corey Comprador, who got shot while protecting his family, sadly passed away.
Corey dove on his family to protect them last night at this rally. Corey was the very best of us.
Many were left questioning who was the man behind the crime and the chaos.
It was empowering. It was very empowering. And then you got anger afterwards because now you're just mad. Who did this? Why? What is the reason? Why? This has to stop.
The man behind the gun was Thomas Matthew Crooks. Crooks was a 20-year-old kitchen worker from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. Records showed that he was a registered Republican who was considered a loner and an unremarkable teen who enjoyed playing video games by his former classmates.
He wasn't like with the clique, so he was always had a, target on his back.
What do you mean by that?
Just being like bullied.
Thomas fired his semi-automatic AR-15 rifle from the rooftop of the building facing diagonal to the rally. Crooks was shot and killed by the Secret Service at the scene. When officials investigated his phone, they found no manifesto or premeditated plan. The Republican National Convention will start today in Milwaukee and will be held with extra security. Reporting from Washington, D.C. for Caplin News, this is Cassandra Alonso.
And Pennsylvania was President Trump's final stop before the Republican National Convention, which is set to start today in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez has the latest on how the incident will affect some of the convention plans.
Conventions are meant to be a joyous partisan event, with Trump rolling up here as the head of his party. Now the entire country is in shock. Trump pledged to continue with his scheduled convention just hours after the assassination attempt. In his memo, his campaign manager said, quote, "In moments of tragedy and horror, we must be resolute in our mission to re-elect President Trump." The assassination attempt of former President Trump opens a new dark chapter in American history.
I'm literally beyond words.
Leaders on both sides of the aisle and around the world condemning the attack, saying there is no place for political violence in America.
Former President Donald Trump has called on national unity, and he is absolutely right. Our focus needs to be on national unity as we move forward in this election. We can't let this violence win and divide us.
Unity is the most elusive goal of all, but nothing is important than that right now, unity.
Former First Lady Melania Trump, who is also attending the Republican National Convention, issued her first public response, calling on the country to ascend above the hate. More than 50,000 people are expected to attend the convention in Milwaukee, but the Secret Service says there are no plans to tighten security after Saturday's shooting.
This is a national special security event. That designation is the highest level of security designation that the federal government can determine.
The events of the week culminating on Thursday, when Trump is expected to accept his party's nomination. Trump arrived in Milwaukee yesterday, he considered pushing back his trip by 2 days, but said, quote, "I cannot allow a shooter or potential assassin to force change scheduling or anything else." Today's also the day that Trump could make his pick for vice president. How important their speech will be this coming Wednesday. In Milwaukee, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
This morning, we shift to the former president's home in South Florida, where many local voters and officials also reacted to the incident. As when he was convicted of 34 felony charges, some of Trump's base united outside of his home in Mar-a-Lago. They held American flags and campaign signs. Florida Senator and Vice President Marco Rubio, Governor Ron DeSantis, and Miami Mayor Francis Suarez sent their prayers to the former president. Rubio's colleague in the Senate, Rick Scott, said this was, quote, "clearly an assassination attempt."
An American Airlines flight headed to Miami was evacuated after an incident left passengers injured. Flight members witnessed what they believed was fire in the back of the cabin 45, causing a small stampede. Security found a smoking laptop in the passenger's bag.
Take these risks when we fly like this, but people don't pay attention to that battery thing. They ask you, is everything turned off? And that could have been the problem if a bag was smoking. You know, these laptops that we carry around so casually can be pretty dangerous.
The bag was removed and crew members led passengers off the plane using emergency slides. American Airlines acknowledged that one person suffered minor injuries.
A clash at the Copa, the crowds and the action on field ramp up in Miami.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Argentina is in my blood. We're going to move forward with or without Messi. We have the best fans all around the world.
We've got team coverage across the board for a highly anticipated final between Argentina and Colombia. Stick with us. Newsbreak will be back in just 2 minutes.
It's the calm after the storm from a hectic tournament final. We bring you our team coverage on the night. This morning, Argentina fans celebrate the victory of becoming Copa America champions for the second consecutive time.
Our team at Caplin News was at the game and the multiple watch parties last night. Let's head to Hard Rock Stadium with Caplin's Valentina Gaspari, who was there to see the pregame madness. Good morning, Valentina.
Yeah, guys, if I had a word to explain what I saw yesterday, I would say it was scary. I mean, I saw it from the top levels. It was scary to see how many people were just overfilling that one area that later turned into the whole side of the stadium. It was so bad, I couldn't even see the floor at one point. There were so many Colombians. There were so many Argentinians. It was overcrowded, that's the word. And I even saw one little kid, the second he passed through those gates, he started crying. I don't know if it was because he got hurt in the midst of all that, or he's just happy that he's safe and he's able to watch the game. But like I said before, it was a crazy experience. Not only that, but I also saw so many arrests. I think I recorded about 5 in my head, but I'm pretty sure there were many more than that. And not only was it crazy out here, but it was also crazy in there. I mean, if you guys saw the game, you know, we didn't know who was going to be champion until those last few moments of the game. And now we know Argentina, they're champions once again of the Copa America. They won in 2021, and now they're champions again in 2024. And it was a crazy experience once and for all. So here's the recap of what happened last night. Take a look.
Before this happened, this happened. Fans without tickets rushed forcibly through the gates of the Hard Rock Stadium, and many were caught by security and arrested. A massive overcrowd, many stuck in the middle with little to no space to escape. Wherever a door opened, the fans made a run for it, urgently leading to the closure of all the gates around the venue. And even inside, oh my God. This escalator turns into a disastrous scene. All this commotion caused the game to delay an hour and 15 minutes. But once the referee blew the whistle, it was game on for Argentina and Colombia. Specifically, it was after Shakira's halftime performance that much of the ups and downs began for both teams. First off, an emotional Lionel Messi crying as he left the match due to a harsh foot injury.
I imagined that it was something ugly, and it was. Looked like a serious emergency.
And Colombia's James Rodriguez is substituted at the start of extra time.
We somewhat suffered in the beginning. I saw that Colombia doesn't have games. Instead, they're fast, but they hit too much. They don't have a game. We have more play and much more technique, but it costs us much more. And on top of that, the heat didn't help at all.
It all made the difference, however, when Argentina's Lautaro Martinez scored the winning goal at extra time, the 112th minute. But this victory and the ending of a weeks-long Copa America tournament meant a farewell for Ángel Di María, as he confirmed this match would be his last with the national team. Here's how fans will remember him.
The truth is that Di María was a very important figure for us.
I would say thank you for everything, and I hope he has a happy and blessed life because he gave us everything and much more.
And no matter who you were rooting for yesterday, whether it was Argentina or whether it was Colombia, that game was a struggle for both teams. Like I said, we didn't know who was going to be crowned champion until those last few minutes of the game. But it was a great way to end the Copa America final here in Miami, South Florida. Now we turn it back to more team coverage. We have our Caplin News reporter, David Lascano. He actually went to one of those watch parties for Argentina. Let's take a look at what he saw.
I'm standing here in the heart of North Beach, and the party has just begun. The Argentinian fans have taken over the streets, both physically and emotionally, celebrating their victory against Colombia in a match that had us on the edge of our seats for 120 minutes. No one was going to miss the game, not even the dogs, as Argentinian fans gathered to support their team at the finals of Copa America in their favorite spots.
Argentina me corre por la sangre. Argentina is in my blood. We're going to move forward with or without Messi. We have the best fans all around the world.
As the game went on, the Argentinian squad kept on trying unsuccessfully to break Colombia's defense, and all hope seemed lost when Lionel Messi had to leave the field due to an ankle injury. But at minute 112, Argentina got his second wind. It was Lautaro Martinez who broke the silence and brought the fans back from the dead. Argentinian fans painted the streets of North Beach in white and blue as they marched waving their flag and singing songs to support their winning team.
I feel because I'm like far away from home, like seeing the game with a bunch of people from like my country or people who support my country is like a little sense of home outside of like Buenos Aires or Argentina.
Because I love Argentina. These colors. I'm Argentinian, and it is the best thing in the world. I want them to win always.
It's been an amazing night, and the fans are looking forward to La Finalísima against Spain. But now, let's go to Alejandro Marquina, who has the reaction of the Colombian fans. Reporting for Caplin News, this is David Lascano.
Thank you, David. I'm here at Doro Jar, where we saw many Colombian fans watching the game. And even though they lost the game, we saw many of them united by their country. We arrived at Doro Jar, where one of the biggest Colombian watch parties was happening in South Florida. The party had already started 2 hours before the game was even set to start. Throughout the night, we saw many fans cheering for their country while enjoying this amazing wrap to the final game.
So the environment is all good. We got both Colombians and Argentinians. We're all being very lovely. It's a lovely community around here. So let's see what happens. Whoever wins, I know either or, it's all gonna be all just good love between both countries.
We also got to see many of the reactions by the Colombian fans. The truth is, I'm very confident in our team winning this game since their performance in previous game has been intact. This is because our team plays based on passion instead of any other reason, so I think that'll be our path to victory. After the game started, we saw joy filling up the place with people singing, screaming, and even dancing along to Shakira's performance. As you can see, we saw a roller coaster of emotions, we saw people crying, we saw people dancing, but most importantly, we saw people united for the love of their country. I'm Alejandro Marquina reporting for Caplin News.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Paris Bender.
I'm Kenneth Bueno. We'll get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.